Welcome to the Hall of Justice. So we are, for Marvel fans, we're going to call this also Avengers Tower when we're done. So we've got all things geeky and nerdy and fantastic. So we're going to tell you a little bit about what we've been working on here. I've been working with Shane Rich, who's RBH's technical director. He's kind of hiding right over here, so maybe we can get a quick shot of him. So Shane, come on over here and let's give you an idea. We've been working all weekend and we're reaching close to the culmination of what's really been a 5-year project here in developing my reference theater and review area here for Audioholics. And what we've done is a few things. Number one is we've done a complete acoustic modeling of this space. So thanks to Vicoustic, and you can see I have full acoustic panels and acoustic treatment that has been done here in the space. The second thing that we did is we have gone with an all-Focal 1000 series. So we have the Focal 1000 Utopia lined up here, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we have the 1000 series for the surrounds and for the height. So this now is a 7.3.4 setup. And what is unique is we have 2 sets of side surrounds. Eventually, we're going to add wides in these spaces right here, but those aren't in yet. But the culmination of what we're doing this weekend with Shane Rich is this guy right here. So handling the low end of the theater setup is RBH's flagship, unrivaled 21-inch carbon fiber driver, the unrivaled infrasonic sub. This is absolutely everything that it's been built up to be. I've heard this unit at Gene Della Sala's reference theater, and Shane Lee behind the camera is also getting one of these for review. I will tell you, we are getting, Shane, what did we get? Almost below 8 hertz?
Yeah, below 8 hertz.
Below 8 hertz in-room response here. So the output is amazing. The detail, the performance, and what we're doing today is we're doing some dialing in of the subs, plural, with the Focal setup. So we also have here, and the first person in the country to get a set of these, are RBH's new on-wall subs. These are the 1212 SWs, right,
yes.
Shane?
Uh-huh.
And these are really cool. 5 inches, and you can see they're hanging on the wall. And we have dual 12-inch polymer drivers, correct?
Polycarbonate.
Polycarbonate drivers. And this is their signature series. Those of you who are RBH fans may know that their reference series uses aluminum drivers. The performance of this, and we have a second one that is in the back of the room, and no, we can't show all the mess, but you're going to show the mess anyway. So we'll do some B-roll over there. But we have spent the day finding the right location for each of these subs. So we've been doing measurements, and this was a perfect spot for the unrivaled. And then the corners have been great for the 1212s. What I will also say is, Shane ran some measurements, and we have plus or minus 3 dB from 8 hertz to about 40 hertz, almost flat. And then if we go up to about 80, we're within 5 dB, if I think. So really, with no EQ, no Dirac, no nothing, we're really getting exceptional performance here in the room. So we're waiting to dial that in. Let me tell you a little bit about the Focal Utopias. First of all, they just look cool and fantastic. There's no question about that. So this is their flagship. This is their beryllium driver. Focal has different beryllium tweeters for their different lines. So they have a different mechanism and motor structure for the Utopia lineup, and that's what's in this series here versus what's in their 1000 series. What's unique about the Utopia in-wall architectural speakers, however, is really its ability to be an expandable and modular system. So while you may think these are subwoofer modules, which they are, and you can run them separately, there's a speak-on connector that comes from the Utopia, and it allows you to connect one or more subwoofer modules. And what's really cool is you can daisy chain them together. So in this particular setup, I have the right channel plus these 2 submodules acting as a single logical speaker. I'm getting about 21.5 hertz in-room response, about minus 6 dB. I really am getting about 24 hertz or so. And what's really great about this, especially for having a reference processor, I'm using the Focal Astral 16, so it's based on the Storm audio platform, is I'm getting directional bass without any software whatsoever because I'm able to send LFE to the mains, and if there's any bass information that is channel specific, that is being played for each channel, and the bass is all steerable without any software license or anything else. And that was a interesting conversation that I had with the folks at Focal. Sometimes we've had a hard time discerning whether or not the subs are on when we're playing music, so that's been a real fantastic feature set here. So if you're looking for really some reference theater, these have been a great add. Want to highlight something about the Utopias that's pretty unique. If you zoom in here, you're going to see that there are jumpers. So these jumpers are for the tweeter, the mid-range, and then we have the low level and the bass. And these are adjustable at 0, minus 3 dB, and plus 3 dB. So they come in the neutral position when you open them. However, what I've done in this particular case is I've opened up all the jumpers to their maximum position in order to do all the EQing and adjustment with Dirac and with the Astral 16 processor. What's really great, especially if you're using an acoustically transparent screen like I am, is adjusting the jumpers up helps to address some of the attenuation you get on the high frequencies through an acoustically transparent screen. So it's a really great and smart design from Focal. And then to really trim things off, there's no comparison with the Unrivaled. And what we're trying to showcase here, those of you who watch Audioholics, you know that Gene has an all RBH system. We're really showcasing here that you don't need an all RBH system in order to have reference grade performance. So we're doing all the low end with the RBH solution. And in my particular room, while it's a decent sized theater, the 5-inch on-wall subwoofers have really been an ideal setup. So the infrasonic takes care of the infrasonic, and then the subs are able to play down to 20 hertz each one. So we're able to even out the bass throughout the room and really maximize the impact with really a great low footprint.
Solely and completely to sound.
I've long time been an owner of Stewart Filmscreen and been really a big fan personally. So I had reached out to Stewart when I was redoing my theater space about what would be a really good option to put in my theater. My requirements were I wanted something that would give me reference cinema, but I also needed something that would be retractable in order to be able to do truly reference multi-channel audio, and I wanted an acoustically transparent screen that had minimal signal loss. So what Stewart recommended is the 130 G4. So this is a 1.3 gain screen, and it features their new ultra perf perforation. We're able to sit, and Shane Lee, who's behind the camera, can attest. We're about 9 feet. We can't see any of the perforations. We're getting 8K upscale detail on this screen, and the color fidelity, uniformity, and just overall performance is excellent. With the perforation, this screen comes in at about a 1.1 gain. And I've run some measurements. We'll be showing you what that is a little bit on the Audioholics side, but I'm having minimal top-end signal loss, just a few dB. And what I really wanted to do was have the ability to raise the screen, so we'll show you here. So I have their Lux, and I've put some velvet on top to take care of, even though the casing is a matte black, to take care of any reflections that might come through. So as I mentioned, one of the requirements that I wanted was I wanted a retractable screen, and also for review purposes, because I have gear coming in and out, and I wanted to be able to accommodate that against the wall. I had total flexibility in terms of how I wanted to do the masking. So all I did is I told Stewart how much masking I want, and then it's adjustable about 3 inches up or down. So depending on what your custom installation needs are, you can have custom masking performed. Now, had I done an in-ceiling option here, which I didn't, I did a surface mount, then I could have also opted for their custom masking system. So therefore, even though I'm taking advantage of that within the JVC, I could actually have the masking panels horizontally and vertically automatically match what the ratio is of the programming that I'm watching. So that was a trade-off that I made. Very happy with the solution, but for uber high-end home theater, or for those of you who are looking for that type of scenario, going for something in the ceiling, you can do a custom masking solution and really take it to the next level. In the rack here, we have the Focal Astral 16. So this is really an AVR, an AV processor, and what it has is 12 onboard channels of amplification, 250 watts per channel, all channels driven. There are 3 power supplies, so when I configured the Focal setup, we actually stagger the main speakers on different power supplies. So the left speaker, for example, is on power supply 1, the center on power supply 2, and then the right channel on power supply 3, and we stagger all 12. Then there are 4 assignable XLR outputs. So we're using 3 of those for the subwoofers, then we're using a 4th just assigned to one of the high channels, and I'm using just a Monoprice Monolith, which was a review unit that I'd purchased many years ago. That's 200 watts per channel, so I'm getting some good juice out of that. Here is what I really want to draw your attention to, is the RBH subs use regular binding posts. So many enthusiasts may say, gee, I'm used to having a powered subwoofer. Well, this is really the way to do it. If you're looking for a reference setup, we just run a 12-gauge speaker cable directly to the subs. And then this amplifier right here is RBH's DA2602. It's a DSP-based amplifier. We have this one in bridged mode, and it is outputting 4,000 watts into the unrivaled 21-inch sub. This one, the 2602, we have running as a stereo subwoofer amp, and that is driving the 1212 SWs. And Shane, correct me, 1200 watts per channel is what we're getting, or 15?
It's actually 2,000 watts per channel.
2,000 watts per channel,
yeah, but
are
it's
being fed to each sub in stereo. Great. There's a lot of other features in terms of the DSP. We're not using those. We're using the advanced software within the Storm audio processor in the Focal Astral 16 to do all that. So what do we have for our side surrounds and our rear channels? Well, here we also have Focal's 1000 series architectural speakers. What's fascinating, or what's really great about these speakers, they have a beryllium tweeter, and then they have Focal's W-Cone, their proprietary driver material. What I love about these speakers is the fact that the mid-range assembly is not only on a pivot, so I can point that towards the listening position, it also twists. So if you want to use this guy as a center channel speaker, you can mount it horizontally, you can rotate the assembly as you can see here, and that way you have a nice MTM design for a center channel setup, which is really the ideal. The Utopias, given their size, you can also put them horizontally if you want. However, you do get the advantage of just the advanced drivers in that. But these have been great. I have 2 of them for the side surrounds, then I have them for the rears as well. Technical Director of RBH, Shane Rich, who's no stranger to our channel, and we've spent this weekend doing something really special. I'm the first reviewer to get RBH's brand new on-wall 1212 SW subwoofer. And Shane, these things are amazing performers. We're getting down below 20 hertz from an on-wall sub that just has a 5-inch profile. So let's take a look at this. And Shane, I'd like you to explain to everyone a little bit about the product and what we're seeing here.
Okay, yeah, well, to begin with, to be on wall, you've got to be relatively low profile, right? And so, yes, we have that 5-inch depth. It's a real challenge to get that kind of performance out of such a small, low-profile subwoofer, but we've developed some really high power handling drivers. These are quite a bit lower profile than what we have otherwise in our product, and yet they maintain a very long stroke, or have a very long voice coil for a very long excursion capability. And that allows that type of performance. Again, this is a passive subwoofer, and the subwoofer, not only do you need great drivers, but you have to have a really high quality enclosure. As you noted when you were trying to lift it to get on here, this is quite a hefty enclosure. It's made of HDF, well braced, and special wool acoustic damping inside. It maintains a very ideal system Q of 0.7.
Wow.
So it has really good transient response, and is not going to be bloated or loose
As we've heard
and sloppy.
already.
Yeah. So it's really an ideal solution for somebody that's wanting a subwoofer added to a system or incorporated into a system they're designing that's going to take up a minimal amount of space.
No, agreed. What I really love about this product, and we've had this up now for about a day and a half, maybe a day and a quarter, the subwoofer number one, as a low profile, is such a great solution to so many problems. Even though my theater is a little bit on the larger side, being able to have two of these versus a box that would stick out like that, Shane, let me just give you that. Something like this just really makes a big difference aesthetically. Now, performance-wise, for about 10 years, I've been using the RBH SVTR that had their signature 1212 subwoofers in the bottom module. So I was driving those also with an external amp. And I have to tell you, the performance on these is very, very similar. While it's probably not your reference level to that degree, we're getting outstanding performance. Now, these also have some great potential solutions for those of you who want subs, but may be challenged with aesthetic or spousal limitations. So let me tell you, by default, Shane was telling me they come in black and white, right? So you can order them from the factory or unpainted, correct?
Yes, correct.
So you can do a custom paint job. If you want something to spec architecturally, you could give RBH your Benjamin Moore swatch, your color code, whatever it is, and obviously for a fee, a custom fee, they will color match the sub to your environment. I think this is potentially a product that might have tremendous application. And Shane and I were talking, you can even put it under a couch. So you can fit this guy in places you really can't do other subs. But here's the key, without compromising performance. That's what I think has really impressed me the most as we've gotten these in for review. And then obviously couple that with the infrasonic, the RBH 21-inch unrivaled with the carbon fiber driver. You're getting frequency response throughout from 80 hertz all the way down to about 8 hertz in room. With minimal footprint. So really a great solution, Shane. So excited to continue to calibrate these guys and then do a bigger review in the near future. So thanks for that.
Great.
And don't forget our Patreon channel at patreon.com/Audioholics. We appreciate your support. You'll get direct access to us, you can ask questions, and you can even suggest topics for future programs.
All right, keep listening.